Hello, Mike here. Now, I've been continuing work on my course for the AWS Machine Learning Specialty Certification, and I'm looking at natural language processing. And what I've done today, I want to share with everybody because I've been looking at word embeddings. So the kind of output that you get from a Word2vec algorithm. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's really complicated. I've never looked at it before. How am I supposed to get into that? Well, this is how you're going to get into it. I've actually made a Jupyter notebook and I want you to download it and have a look at it and play around with it because it's a really simple example of how this works. I've come up with a new data set that I want to share out with you. And when I say data set, it's really quite small, but it means that you and I can actually visualize it and see it working. And it's all based around water. So you can do things like water plus boil equals steam, or you could do cold plus water equals freeze. You can actually do that with words. And the way we do it is for each of our words, we associate it with a vector. And that's what Word2vec does. It's in the name, right? Word2vector. This is where the magic comes in. You can actually write those equations. And to show you this in action, I've put together a Jupyter notebook. The link to this notebook is in the description for this video. And I want to show you it very briefly now. And let's just get right into it. I'm going to load some libraries. I'm going to run on that. And then next down, I've got the actual data set itself, if you want to call it that. This is the H2O data set, as I'm calling it. And if I just zoom in on this so you can take a look at it, this is what it is. So we've got a list of words: ice, water, steam, freeze, thaw, boil, cold, tepid and hot. Tepid is a word which is somewhat between cold and hot. And then we've got our vectors down here. Now I've created these all by hand, but in principle, they are the kind of vectors that Word2vec might produce for us. Now let's go down. I'm going to just plot those words out in a graph. So because they have vectors, we can actually look at them spatially. So let's run this little bit of code here, uses matplotlib to show a graph of our words. And you can see the spatial relationships between the words just in a two-dimensional vector space. Now, what we can do is we can actually start building equations from these words. So I'm going to create myself a new vector and I'm going to look at the word water and the word hot. So let's run this cell and I'll print the output of that new vector. And if I do so, I get an output of 0 and 1. But I've also got a little function that I've created that will take our new vector and look for the nearest word that matches that vector. And it'll come out with the word boil. Fantastic. So we've actually got a model which will take the word water, add hot, and come out with the word boil. So let's add together water and cold. Freeze. Let's add together ice and hot. Add those together and we get thaw. What if we actually subtract the terms? Does that work as well? It does. So we can take ice, we can subtract from ice, cold. I get water. Yes, this works. So download this Jupyter notebook, play around with this and see what you can make it do. Please like this video so other people can see it, share it around. I'm super excited about this. I think this is probably one of the coolest things I've made in my course so far. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.